Hey, I'm Father Mark Mary.
And I'm Brother Isaiah.
We are the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal, and this is Ascension Presents. Brother Isaiah, one of your songs on the new album is called Sweet Simplicity. And as I was listening to it, I was really struck by just the aesthetic beauty of it. I just think it's a beautiful, poetic song. And then as we talked about it, and you shared like the backstory of it, the beauty of what I was listening to just went to this whole new level. So if you could just share like the story behind Sweet Simplicity.
Sure. Yep. A few years back, my father was diagnosed with ALS, and like any experience of suffering, it was very disorienting. Whenever we get news like that, or whenever we encounter any suffering in our life, the thing I find the common trait of all suffering is that it's very disorienting. You find yourself in just a washing machine of thoughts and feelings, and it's hard to know which way is up. I was in that, and I just remember feeling it was very difficult to pray. It was very hard to be able to even form a prayer or even have anything to bring to God in prayer. And so trying to be a little bit more honest, I just said, you know, Lord, like, if you are speaking to me, I can't hear you. And I prayed from that place and continued to pray from that place, and just had a really beautiful and surprising experience of being surprised by the Lord and His unexpected ways of coming to us. And I remember just being on several walks around that time, and just the scent of some flowers in spring on a hillside just being kind of wafting up a hill and kind of catching me off guard and sort of sweetly captivating my attention unexpectedly. And I remember getting out to the ocean at that time, and so just walking along the beach and just looking out at the vastness and just the tumult of the waves, and I just remember thinking like, wow, there's something about it that just got me to wonder, and it brought a certain peace to my heart, even in just that experience of wonder. And similarly, hearing a bird sing a song, I remember almost all day one day, and just being like just captivated in wonder by this. And in all of that, I started to realize that the Lord was speaking to me, and He was drawing my heart and attracting me, captivating me, bringing me to wonder. Even in this experience of great pain and suffering, I found the Lord breaking in through the experience of wonder, through the experience of beauty, breaking in to my heart in a way that I could understand. And I just didn't know it was Him until He gave that grace and that bit of light to see that He was right there, and He was right there with me. So that's where this song came from, is just this experience of being surprised by God. But ultimately, the thing that I kind of took away from that is just another reminder of the fact, this beautiful truth, that God meets us where we're at. So often in prayer, we try to be somewhere we're not. But God deeply, desperately desires to meet us where we're at. And He does so speaking a language we can understand. Sometimes we feel like God, who is the infinite other, speaks in languages that are beyond us, and we have to somehow achieve some, this higher thinking, which, obviously growth in prayer. But God does speak to us, and this is part of His humble goodness. The part that makes Him so tender and so loving that we come to know Him as a humble God is that He speaks in a language we can understand, and He meets us where we're at. Even in His infinite greatness, infinite mystery, He continues to come to us in ways we can understand. And so it was a good reminder of that great truth that can bring us so much comfort and consolation, even in our difficulties, and even in times where we can feel so disoriented, we can find God right there in the midst of it. And this was a reminder.
And I really love what you say about the Lord. Yeah, the Lord meets us where we're at, and He speaks to us in a way that we can understand. And so for you, it sounded like God was really speaking to you, like through nature. You know, and there's something about just the beauty of all that was around you, where you were able to hear, to some degree, like you were able to hear the Lord's voice in that. It's beautiful words and a beautiful song and a beautiful truth and a beautiful God. In His humble goodness, He really does meet us where we're at, and He really does speak to us in a language that we can understand. We pray that Brother Isaiah's own discovery of this truth may bring hope and may give you sort of the courage to pray as well. Let's take it to the Lord. Let's take it to the Lord and say, Lord, like, I trust that you are meeting me where you're at. Like where are you? Like, Lord, like let's discover where the Lord is already meeting you where you're at, and let's pray. Like, Lord, I trust that you speak to me in a language that I can understand. Lord, help me to discover the way, like to hear your voice right now, like to discover the ways in which you're speaking to me. So we thank you again for tuning in, for watching, for praying with us, for walking with us, pilgrims. We are on this journey together. Somos peregrinos, poco a poco. Little by little, we're going to make it. Vamos a llegar. Thanks so much. God bless y'all.
Peace.